Most men believe women are unpredictable. They say women are confusing or hard to figure out. But let me shock you with this: women are not confusing at all. In fact, women are some of the most predictable beings on this planet. The real problem is that most men are blind to the patterns. They're chasing women without understanding the hidden system women actually use to decide who is worth their attention and who isn't. Here's the truth nobody tells you: women don't ignore some men because they're mean or shallow. They ignore them because, deep down, those men represent no story, no challenge, no spark. It's not about money, looks, or even charm. It's about the energy you give off and the role you unconsciously play in their lives. Every woman is searching for a man who represents something bigger than just himself, a man who carries a sense of mission, focus, and self belief. Think about it. Why does the guy who seems average still attract women effortlessly? Why does the man who doesn't try so hard end up with the attention others beg for? It's because women chase men who already move, as if they don't need to be chased. Men who are walking in their own lane, building something that doesn't depend on female validation. This is the uncomfortable truth. If you're being ignored, it's not because women are unfair, it's because you've unknowingly made yourself easy to overlook. The world trains men to compete for attention, but women are wired to seek men who don't compete at all. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why women chase certain men while leaving others invisible, and how you can change which side of that line you stand on. 1. Women don't want attention, they want direction. One of the biggest lies men are told is that women want unlimited attention. Movies, social media, and even some relationship experts keep repeating the same message. Give her more attention, buy her more gifts, and she'll finally like you. But the truth is the opposite. Women are not starving for attention. They're drowning in it. Think about it. Every day she gets likes, comments, and messages from men online. In real life, she receives stares, compliments, and offers. Attention is cheap. Direction, however, is rare. Direction means leadership. It means you know where you're going, what you want, and how you live your life, with or without her. A man with direction has purpose. He doesn't move based on her moods or opinions. He moves based on principles. That is what women chase because it makes them feel like they are joining something greater than themselves. Most men get frustrated when a woman ignores them. They think, if I just keep showing her I care, she will change her mind. But from her perspective, if all you can offer is attention, you're no different from the hundreds of men she already ignores. What separates you is the ability to lead, not control, but lead. Direction isn't about being bossy. It's about creating a path. If you know where you're headed in life, women feel more secure being with you because they can see you're not lost. A man without direction asks women to guide him. A man with direction guides himself, and she naturally follows. Imagine two men, one constantly texting a woman, "Good morning," every single day, desperate for her replies. The other texts her once, invites her to join him at a new event he's already planning to attend, and then continues with his life regardless of her answer. Who will she chase? The second man, because he isn't begging for attention. He already has direction, and she wants to be part of it. This is why you must understand, women don't want more men chasing them. They want a man who already knows where he's going. When you provide direction, attention becomes unnecessary. She gives you hers freely. 2. Being too available makes you invisible. Men often believe that if they make themselves available at every moment, women will see them as loyal, caring, and dependable. But in reality, the opposite happens. When you are always available, you stop being special. You become background noise. Women don't chase what's always there. They chase what has value, and value comes from scarcity, not abundance. Here's the harsh truth. When you're always one call away, always texting back instantly, and always ready to cancel your own plans just to see her, you are silently communicating one thing: you have nothing better to do. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man with no life of his own. Think of it like this. Diamonds are rare, so people fight to own them. Sand is everywhere, so nobody values it. If you act like sand, always there, always easy to grab, you will be treated like sand. Stepped on, ignored, forgotten. But if you move like a diamond, busy, focused, and rare, You create curiosity and demand. Being less available doesn't mean being rude or ignoring her on purpose. It means living a life that already demands your attention. Work on your goals, your body, your craft, your vision. When a woman sees that you're selective with your time, she understands that being with you is not automatic. It must be earned. That's where the chase begins. Many men confuse being available with being kind, but kindness without boundaries is weakness. Women don't respect men who throw away their schedule just to please them. They respect men who keep their priorities intact and invite them into that strong, structured life. Imagine a man who replies to every text instantly, says yes to every last minute plan, and never has anything going on besides waiting for her. Now compare him to the man who takes hours to reply. Not because he's playing games, but because he's genuinely busy building something. When she asks to meet, he says, I can't today, but let's do Saturday evening. I'll have some time then. Which one keeps her interested? The second man, because his availability signals value. Here's the lesson. If you want to stand out, stop being everywhere. Stop making yourself an open book. A woman will never chase what she can always have. She will only chase what she risks losing. 3. Confidence beats looks every single time. Let's be honest. Most men grow up believing that women only want the best-looking guys, the tall, handsome, perfectly dressed men. That belief alone makes millions of men give up before they even try. But here's the twist. Women don't actually choose based on looks. They choose based on how a man carries himself. Confidence is the real magnet, and it will always outrank looks. You've probably seen this play out around you. There's always that guy who isn't the best dressed, isn't the tallest, and isn't the ideal type, yet he still has women paying attention to him. Why? Because he believes in himself. He walks into a room like he belongs there, he speaks with certainty, and he doesn't apologize for existing. That kind of energy is impossible to ignore. On the other hand, you can look amazing on the outside. Perfect haircut, stylish clothes, expensive cologne. But if your body language screams insecurity, no woman will feel drawn to you. Confidence shows up in the way you stand, the way you look people in the eye, the way you hold your voice steady when you talk. It's the quiet, unshakable belief that you are enough without needing approval. Think about how people act when they don't feel confident. They hesitate before speaking. They overthink every move. They look around, hoping someone else will validate their choices. That energy communicates weakness, and women pick up on it instantly. Now compare that to the man who makes decisions without fear, even small ones like choosing where to sit, what to order, or what to do next. That self-trust is attractive in itself. Confidence also has another hidden advantage. It makes people trust you. Women are naturally drawn to men who seem sure of themselves because it signals safety. A confident man doesn't panic under pressure, doesn't crumble when faced with challenges, and doesn't beg for reassurance. That steadiness makes women feel secure in ways that looks alone never can. The truth is, looks fade. What you look like today will not be the same in 10 years, but confidence is a skill, a muscle you can build for life. And once you have it, you'll notice how people, not just women, start treating you differently. Opportunities open up, respect increases, and doors that were once closed suddenly unlock. At the end of the day, you don't need to be the best looking man in the room. You just need to be the man who walks in like he belongs there. That is what women chase every single time. 4. Mission-driven men always outrank approval seekers. One of the biggest mistakes men make today is living only to impress women. They change how they dress, what they say, even how they live, all for approval. But here's the harsh truth. Men who chase approval always lose to men who chase purpose. A man with a mission will always be ranked higher in a woman's eyes than a man who only seeks validation. Too many men are asleep. They think life is about winning the attention of women instead of building something meaningful. They wake up every day scrolling through social media, waiting for likes, waiting for replies, waiting for someone to give them permission to feel important. That's not living, that's surviving. And women see through it instantly. A mission-driven man doesn't need constant applause. His life already has direction. He knows what he's working toward, whether it's building his career, sharpening his skills, improving his health, or creating something that lasts. Women are naturally drawn to that kind of focus because it signals strength and stability. It shows that you are not just a man who wants attention, you are a man who commands respect. Here's the problem with approval seekers: they bend too easily. They're afraid of rejection, so they agree with everything a woman says. They change their opinions to fit in. They avoid taking risks because they don't want to look foolish. But in the process, they lose their edge. They lose the very thing that makes a man worth following. Men need to wake up. If your entire identity is tied to what a woman thinks of you, you've already lost. You are handing her the steering wheel of your life, and no one respects a man who doesn't know where he's going. Ask yourself, what are you building? What are you chasing outside of women's approval? If your answer is nothing, then that's exactly why you feel overlooked. Women don't ignore you because they're cruel. They ignore you because you don't represent anything bigger than their attention. The truth is simple. Women don't want to be the center of your world. They want to join a man whose world is already spinning with purpose. So stop begging for approval. Stop living for attention. Wake up and build a mission worth chasing. 5. Women test men to expose weakness, not to be mean. Many men complain, why do women always test us? Why can't they just accept us as we are? The truth is, women don't test you because they enjoy stressing you out. They test you because they need to know who you really are when the mask comes off. A woman's test is not about cruelty. It's about survival. Here's what most men don't understand. Women are wired to look for strength, consistency, and leadership in a man. But words are cheap. Any man can say he's confident, focused, or reliable. Tests are how women find out if your actions match your words. If you crumble under small pressure, why should she believe you can handle bigger storms? The mistake many men make is taking these tests personally. They get angry, defensive, or insecure. They whine, why can't she just trust me? But trust isn't given. It's earned through proof. Every test she gives you is a chance to show her that you are steady, not shaky. Fail the test and you confirm her doubts. Pass the test and you rise higher in her eyes. Think about it. Life itself will test you with setbacks, failures, and challenges. If you can't even handle a woman asking hard questions, teasing you, or pushing back, how will you handle the real trials of leadership? Women know this, which is why they push to see what's beneath the surface. Men need to stop crying about being tested and start seeing it for what it is: an opportunity. Instead of reacting emotionally, stay calm. Instead of trying to prove yourself with endless words, let your consistency speak. Instead of fearing tests, expect them. Because if she never tested you, it would mean she doesn't care whether you're strong or weak. She already decided you're not worth her effort. Here's the reality most men don't want to hear. A woman's test is not the problem. Your weakness is. If you're solid, her test won't shake you. If you're shaky, her test will expose you. That's the point. So stop seeing her tests as attacks. Start seeing them as training. They're sharpening you, showing you where you need to grow, and filtering out men who are all talk but no backbone. Women don't test to break you. They test to reveal you. 6. If she controls you, she loses respect for you. One of the quickest ways to destroy attraction is by letting a woman control you. Many men don't realize this, but the moment you hand over your decision-making power, the respect she once had for you begins to disappear. Respect is the foundation of attraction. Without it, there is nothing left, no matter how much effort, love, or loyalty you give. Here's the hard truth. Women don't want to be in charge of you. They may test you, they may challenge you, they may even push boundaries. But deep down, they don't want to carry the role of leading your life. When you let her control you, you are asking her to do the job of a man, and that automatically makes you look weaker in her eyes. Men often confuse being controlled with being caring. They think, if I just do everything she says, she'll see how much I love her. But what she really sees is that you have no spine. You're not standing on your own principles. You're bending at every demand. And here's the part most men don't want to hear. When she feels she can control you, she no longer feels safe with you. A man who can't even control himself cannot protect, lead, or guide anyone else. Control also kills attraction because it removes unpredictability. If she knows she can make you do whatever she wants, there's no challenge left. The mystery disappears. And without challenge, there is no chase. Instead, she feels burdened by the responsibility of steering the relationship. And over time, she resents you for it. Respect comes from strength, Not physical strength alone, but the strength to say no when needed, the strength to stand on your values, and the strength to lead your own life. If you always hand the wheel to her, she may stay for a while, but her respect for you will continue to sink. The painful part is that most men realize this too late. They wake up one day wondering why she's distant, cold, or uninterested. They think it's about money, looks, or someone else, when in reality, it's about respect. The moment you gave her control, she stopped seeing you as the man she could look up to. Here's the bottom line: you don't earn respect by being controlled. You earn it by showing that you can lead yourself. If she can't respect you, she won't chase you. And once respect is gone, everything else follows. 7. Chasing women kills attraction faster than rejection. Most men believe the more they chase a woman, the more she will eventually like them. They think persistence will break down her walls, that constant attention will eventually earn her love. But here's the shocking reality: chasing doesn't increase attraction, it destroys it, and it kills it even faster than outright rejection. When you chase a woman, you are silently admitting that she is the prize and you are the one trying to earn her. You are showing her that your life has no higher purpose than getting her attention. That imbalance flips the entire dynamic, and once she senses it, her interest fades. Women are not wired to respect a man who puts her above everything else. She's wired to respect a man who values himself first. Rejection is painful, but at least it keeps your dignity. Chasing, on the other hand, drains your time, energy, and confidence while lowering her respect for you. A man who chases looks desperate, and desperation is the opposite of attraction. Here's the truth men need to face: a woman knows whether she is interested in you within a very short time. If she sees qualities she admires, she will naturally open the door for you. If she doesn't, no amount of chasing will change her mind. In fact, it only confirms that you have nothing better going on in your life. What makes it worse is that chasing doesn't just kill attraction with her, it damages your reputation with others too. People notice when a man is constantly running after a woman who clearly doesn't care. They see him as weak, as someone who doesn't value himself, and that perception lingers. The reason rejection is healthier than chasing is because rejection sets you free. It gives you clarity. You can move forward, focus on your mission, and grow stronger. Chasing, however, keeps you stuck in a cycle of hope and disappointment where your worth is tied to someone else's approval. That cycle destroys confidence. Men need to understand this. Women are not impressed by effort alone. They are impressed by value. If you build yourself into a man of value, women will come toward you naturally. You won't need to chase because your presence, confidence, and direction will do the work for you. So stop running after women who don't want you. Rejection is not the end, it's redirection. Chasing, however, is self-destruction. The sooner you stop, the sooner you regain both respect and freedom. 8. Silence is more powerful than begging for answers. One of the biggest mistakes men make when dealing with women is thinking that words solve everything. When a woman pulls away, acts cold, or starts testing boundaries, most men panic. They flood her with questions. What's wrong? Did I do something? Please just tell me what you're thinking. They think that if they can just talk enough, they'll fix the problem. But here's the truth: begging for answers only makes things worse. Silence, on the other hand, is far more powerful. Silence communicates strength. It shows that you are not desperate for constant reassurance. When you choose silence instead of chasing explanations, you show that your emotions are steady and that you don't lose control under pressure. Women respect that because it proves you can handle uncertainty without breaking down. Begging, however, communicates weakness. It tells her that your peace of mind depends on her approval. And once she feels that level of control, respect fades. Attraction is not built on pity. It's built on power. By staying silent, you shift the balance back in your favor because you refuse to hand her all the control over your emotions. Silence also creates space. When you stop filling every gap with questions and words, she has the chance to reflect on her own behavior. Often women pull back just to see how a man will respond. If you panic and beg, she confirms you're not steady. If you stay calm and quiet, she's forced to confront her own actions, and many times she'll return on her own. Imagine a man whose girlfriend suddenly becomes distant. The first man keeps calling, texting, and demanding answers, making her feel even more suffocated. The second man notices the shift but says nothing. He gives her space, continues his own life, and remains calm. Which man does she respect more? The second, because his silence shows control, not weakness. The lesson is simple. You don't always need to explain, chase, or fix things with words. Sometimes the strongest statement you can make is to say nothing at all. Silence forces her to see your value without you advertising it. It keeps your dignity intact while begging strips it away. When you master silence, you no longer fear losing her, and ironically, that's when she realizes she doesn't want to lose you. 9. Status isn't money, it's how you carry yourself. Many men think status means driving the most expensive car, wearing designer clothes, or flashing stacks of cash. They believe women only respect men who can throw money around. But here's the truth. Money might catch attention, but it doesn't guarantee respect. Real status isn't about your bank account. It's about the way you carry yourself. You've probably seen wealthy men who still get disrespected by women. Why? Because money alone doesn't make you a leader, and it doesn't make you confident. If all you have is money, then without it, you're nothing. But if you have presence, self-respect, and direction, people will treat you like someone of value whether you're broke or rich. Status shows up in small things. The way you walk into a room, whether you look people in the eye, how you speak, and how much you respect yourself. A man with true status doesn't need to prove himself. His energy speaks for him. On the other hand, the man who constantly brags or tries to impress with material things only reveals insecurity. This is where many men get it wrong. They chase material symbols of status instead of building inner strength. They think a new watch will hide their lack of confidence. They think expensive dinners will cover up their weakness. But women aren't fooled. They feel the difference between a man who has money and a man who has presence. True status is also about consistency. If your words and actions don't match, no amount of wealth will save your reputation. But if you carry yourself with integrity, even people with more money than you will look up to you. That's the kind of status women respect because it can't be bought, only earned. Ask yourself, how do you carry yourself when you enter a room? Do you shrink, hoping not to be noticed? Or do you stand firm, shoulders back, as if you belong? Do you speak with hesitation or with certainty? These subtle things create your status long before anyone sees your wallet. The lesson is clear. Stop obsessing over money as the only form of value. Yes, build wealth, but don't depend on it to define you. Women are drawn to men who project confidence, strength, and purpose, whether they're wearing a suit or a t-shirt. Money may open doors, but status is what keeps them open. And status begins with how you carry yourself every single day. 10. Not every man is meant to be chased. This is the hardest truth for men to accept. Not every man will be chased by women. And that's not because women are unfair. It's because not every man has built himself into someone worth chasing. Too many men walk through life expecting attention simply because they exist. They think being a good guy is enough, or that just showing interest should guarantee results. But the reality is, women don't chase average. They chase men who stand out, men who bring value, men who live with direction and purpose. If you feel ignored, it doesn't mean the world is against you. It means you haven't separated yourself from the crowd. The truth is, life doesn't reward men who wait. It rewards men who take responsibility for who they are becoming. Women aren't waiting for perfect men, but they are waiting for men who are evolving. This is where many men go wrong. Instead of building themselves, they waste time complaining. They blame women, society, or bad luck. But complaining changes nothing. Growth does. If you don't like being overlooked, then work on your body, your confidence, your mindset, your mission. Because when you rise, people notice. The most liberating thing you can realize is this: being ignored isn't the end of your story. It's feedback. It's life telling you you need to level up. Once you accept that, you stop resenting women and start respecting the process. Not every man is meant to be chased, but any man can become one if he's willing to put in the work. Here's the bottom line. Women don't decide your worth. You do. But if you refuse to grow, don't expect anyone to chase you. Respect, attention, and desire are not handed out. They're earned. And only the men who rise above comfort zones will ever know what it feels like to be truly pursued. Conclusion. Now let's end with a truth that many people will find hard to swallow. Most men today don't get ignored by women because women are shallow. They get ignored because they've become weak. Society has trained men to be soft, approval seeking, and desperate for validation, while stripping away the values that once made men leaders. And here's the controversy: women are not the problem, men are. It's easy to point fingers and say women only want money, status, or looks. But the deeper reality is that women are simply responding to the quality of men around them. If you feel invisible, the uncomfortable truth is that you might not yet represent anything worth chasing. That doesn't mean you can't change, it means you must wake up. I know many of you will agree and many will disagree. That's the beauty of these conversations. I want you to comment below and share your own experiences. Have you ever felt ignored? Have you noticed the patterns I just talked about? I will personally read through the comments, and yes, I'll reach out. This isn't just me talking at you, this is a conversation between us. I want to connect with you, man to man, and grow together. So here's the challenge: don't just listen and move on. Speak up, share your story, because your story might open another man's eyes. And before we close, remember this is not the end. In the next video, we're going even deeper. We'll uncover one brutal truth about modern relationships that will make today's lesson look mild in comparison. Trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next.